22 jobs, one at a time. This is Backlog Buster's Final Fantasy V Single Job Challenge series. The core rule is to only use the assigned job. I'll be forced to go jobless using Freelancer until the assigned job becomes available. As soon as the job unlocks, I'll switch out of Freelancer and be locked into that job for the rest of the game, for better or for worse. I'll be doing my best to see the majority of the optional content, but it's gonna depend on the individual job for some of it. As an additional challenge, I'm going to try and beat the game at as low a level as possible, and to minimize grinding, though some grinding is likely inevitable. Other than that, there are no restrictions. All equipment, game mechanics, and strategies are available to beat the game and see the credits. Working through that lengthy list one by one, this time I'll be playing. With the Fire Crystal jobs, I'll have to freelance it for a bit. I'm going to be practical and blast through the game until Karnak Castle gets blowed up, then fork my save. So if you are watching the final trifecta of Fire Crystal jobs, which includes Ninja, Beastmaster, and Geomancer, and you've seen the other videos, or you just want to see where the single job challenge truly starts, you can skip ahead to this time code. With that out of the way, let's see what our old friend Bartz is up to. Oh, just bashing goblins' heads in and rescuing Lena and Galoof. Then, not long after, Ferris joins up and I'm smashing my way through the Wind Shrine. Wing Raptor's goose is getting cooked, and the Wind Crystal's already shattered. Jobs that I'm not interested in at the moment, but soon. Oh yeah, I get to see Zoc! Everybody loves Zoc! You know he made the Torna Canal, right? And did you know that inside the Torna Canal there's a lobster boss called Carlabos? It's Crabfest, baby. I will use auto attack and win. Easy peasy. It did help a lot that I grinded a bit outside of Tool. Goodbye, Sildra, we hardly knew ya. Seriously, it's been like less than 15 minutes. Sauntering through all these shipwrecks and giving the skeletons the graveyard smash, and I've made it to Siren. Jobless, Siren's always the same. Smash her with swords in human form, then chuck potions like it's going out of style in undead form. Another jobless victory for me. Carwin's got the goods. I'm snatching the Frost Rod and all kinds of new gear before heading up the North Mountain. Oh no, Magisa and her shenanigans again. Poisoning Lena with that dart's getting real old. Wait a second, a gift for her husband? Wait, what? A slew of sword swinging and she's calling in the big guns. Then that Frost Rod from Carwin's coming in real handy as Forza and Magisa both feel the chill of 0 Kelvin. Whip acquired. Lena poisoned, part 2, then Windrake detours go. I'm going all the way back to Tycoon Castle and grabbing the castle's fabulous secret treasures. The healing staff, the Ashura Container, and the lowly Diamond Bell. So easily forgotten. The Ashura's power is maximum, and the whip's back row okay. The Diamond Bell is back row okay too, but who cares about that one? Oh, and a throwable ninja star. Well, that will matter for at least one of these runs. Enough lollygagging. They're waiting for me in walls. Silver specks are getting stolen from that dude's house. Then I must plunder the treasures of the basement. Elf Cape number 1 acquired. I spent way too much time lollygagging. A meteor's hit the earth. It's never been more over, bros. Wait, what's that? There's a secret doomsday bunker north? Quick, panic, everybody run! Well, most doomsday bunkers are underground. Looks like King Walls missed the memo and built it up instead of down. The Walls Tower is nothing of note. I'm just physically smashing everything. To death, bro. Which also includes Boss of the Hour Garula. Garula is no match for Magisa's whip. As a magic beast type enemy, Garula is paralyzed from the... Since Garula is only capable of physically attacking and countering, paralysis completely destroys his damage capability. If an attack ever does go through, well, Lena can just beat off the team with the healing staff to get them back into tip-top shape. That's really a big if, because it's not long before the Whip, Ashura, and lowly Diamond Bell take him out. God bless auto battle. And then, in an absolutely shocking twist, the Water Crystal shatters. That's cool and all, but these are still not the jobs that I'm looking for. It turns out that meteor did not destroy the planet. We've never been more back. Inside the meteor, I'm stepping on that panel and I'm teleported to a new continent. Let's see what this place is all about. Imprisoning tourists, okay? Sounds good. Oh, I found the world's smartest man. Final Fantasy's Sid. How smart could he actually be? He blasted into a wall instead of blowing apart the door. Sid's got the gift of gab though, so I'm out of here. Oh, what? The fire crystal's gonna blow up? We gotta hurry, everybody panic! Sneaky, cheeky Suze spotted. And spotting Suze reminds me, I should massacre some wild knacks so I can afford the sweet new gear Karnak has on offer. After a slaughtering session, Frost Rod's acquired. I gotta get while the getting's good, man. Now I'm straight down to the fire ship's basement at lowly and unlucky level 13. I got no need for treasures, plus I can just come back here later if I really care. Straight to the bottom. Oh no, the fire's become sentient! The fire has gained intelligence and hopefully also the ability to feel pain. I smash an ice rod and then bonk him to death with my swords. Destroyed in seconds. Suze spotted again. What do you mean he's about to get blown up? Oh, the fire crystal's destroyed. Give me those shards. I guess not right now. Lena explains that somehow, some way, the fire crystal was holding the castle together. It makes absolutely no sense, just play along with her. I'm sure the poison has destroyed what's left of her brain cells. I must now escape the castle, but not before grabbing the fabulous secret treasures inside. Starting with the ribbon, which I can use for just right now. Once I'm out of the castle, ribbon time is over. Now for the standard up and around to find the elf cape, then around to the other side to find the main gauche. Always gotta grab the gauche. I'm contractually obligated. Lena got toted at some point during this run through and I don't have any maiden's kisses. She's a frog forever now. Karnak treasures acquired and it's time to bounce. Oh, except I think there's one last chest worth getting. This one. The content's useful for exactly ninja. On the way out, it's a trap! I was sleepwalking through Karnak again, so I auto-battled the first knack down to death. Evidently, frogs can still rod smash, so Frog Lena takes out the sergeant long before he can even imagine transforming into Ironclaw. I'm out of here. Karnak blows up, and finally, these are the jobs that I'm looking for. You will be utterly shocked to hear that I have barely ever touched Beastmaster. Young Wesley all those years ago asserted that Beastmaster was probably more trouble than it was worth. Since I have no idea how Beastmaster really works, let's get the shilling out of the way early. You can get the behind-the-scenes shtick on how I planned and executed this run on the Patreon or right here on YouTube as a channel member. You can witness the struggle of meticulously planning the perfect run and all of the pitfalls along the way. Of course, there's extra exclusive premium content which includes challenges like beating Demon Souls and Dark Souls at Soul Level 1, but I know that you guys love Final Fantasy V. There's videos on beating the game with Barts only and absolutely demolishing all Berserkers on the Super Nintendo version too. Special thanks to all of my Buster boys for keeping the channel going. And like and subscribe, you know you want to. Now, Shilling West returns to his slumber. Starting off, let's go ahead and cure Frog Lena. Now I'm off to Karnak's shops. Whips are back row okay, and I know that that defensive bonus is gonna come in clutch. Thanks for appearing out of thin air, Center Shopkeeper Man. The whips are starting to show their age a bit, but I always try and use a job's signature weapon. Now for the nuances of Beastmaster, and specifically its core ability, catch and release. Starting off, I have to get a monster to 12.5% of its maximum health. Once weakened, I can use the catch command to snag it, just like in Pokemon. Once that happens, catch changes to release. When you release your captured monster, it does a predetermined effect, and then you lose it. These effects really could be anything from a physical attack to debuffs, buffs, and even insanely powerful spells like Almagust. There are so many monsters around that I'm definitely gonna need to consult a guide. There's no way I'm catching and releasing a bunch of things just to find out what's good. From the bowels of internet wikis, I painstakingly scrubbed through the catch and release list. And now I have reached some conclusions. First is that, oh my god, I hate how horribly organized and atrociously laid out some of these fan wikis are. Listen, I tried to be a guide writer. I shot my shot and I failed, but I still can complain when it's this bad. Second is that the vast majority of catch and releases in this game are genuinely terrible, but there are some standouts, such as zoos, which are right here outside Karnak. When released, they use Breathwing. Breathwing deals 25% of the target's maximum health as wind damage to all targets. 25% times 4 equals 100%. That's right, this Vancouver boy can actually do the correct percentage math. Take that, Darkest Dungeon devs. If I catch 4 zoos, I should be able to one-shot every boss in the game. My master plan has been revealed. It's time to put it into action. All I need to do now is catch 4 zoos and test my theory on the next bosses down in the ancient library. Now to do some more math to figure out how much HP I need to carve off of each zoo and then catch 4 of them. 1 for each Beastmaster. For this, I will consult the bestiary, because I'm done with fan wikis. Alright, so, 2 whip attacks kills a zoo, which is far too strong. Thank God I kept some lowly daggers. I can whip off a big chunk of its HP and then tune in the damage with these starting daggers. Finally, I got a successful capture, and I don't get any EXP or gil for that. Oh, just beautiful. Now to do that 3 more times. Beastmaster is proving to already be incredibly tedious. What have I gotten myself into? Successfully loaded up with exotic animals, let's head down to the ancient library. I have no other recourse for the fights here besides smashing faces in with my whips, all because I need to hang on to these captured monsters for the bosses. Which of course starts with Ifrit, hiding out in this little book. Spamming Zoo's breath wings should be free, but I want to play conservatively. I'll throw out some whip attacks first just to test the waters. Okay, about 100 damage, but I'm getting beat down quickly. Quick, release the breath wings! Alright, a very respectable 750 damage. And then the second one comes out, and then I died. Okay, fine. Resorting immediately to just dumping all 4 breath wings and moving on with my life. But not before taking a bunch of damage from Ifrit. Oh, yikes. Breathwing 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at that, he's dead. Looks like spamming Breathwing on every boss is going to be the correct solution. Only now, I'm out of stocked animals. I did unlock the Calm ability after Ifrit, which uses Stop on Magic Beast type enemies. Wait a minute, Byblos is a Magic Beast type enemy, right? Let's head to the basement to try out Calm. Miss. And the whips don't seem to paralyze him either. I've been lied to. I can still give it the old college try though. Let's get to it, auto battle. Whip it into shape. Oh, he's got Breathwing Light, that's cute. Yeah, dying to Byblos was inevitable, but Beastmasters did put up a pretty good fight. So I tried it a second time, to no avail. Utter defeat means, you guessed it, I'm leaving the area and returning to Karnak to farm more zoos. I'm gonna be the best, like no one ever was, my dudes. 4 zoos captured again after a lengthy series of battles, and I'm heading back down to the basement of the library. My master plan will either work out, and I will be remembered as a turbo genius, or I'll just look like a big idiot in front of everybody. Yeah, so Byblos absorbs wind damage, so you can call me Lenny. Just take me out to the river and let me pet those rabbits while you put me out of my misery. You know I was scrutinizing the bestiary, but I neglected to scroll down. Zoos have left me down and my plan is immediately in the toilet. I desperately don't want to deal with the inevitable protect and drain counters from Byblos. If I'm gonna melee Byblos down, my only options are to farm elixirs or grind an absurd number of levels. There's gotta be a better way. I'm having a spice-induced vision. Muad'Dib. He said Muad'Dib. The desert planet of Arrakis calls, but the desert to the west is gonna have to do. I don't have a spaceship. In the desert, the secrets are revealed to me, just like in Pokemon Gold. The answer was right in front of me the whole time. A bear with 2 fists. Sand bears, when released, use, and I quote, strong physical attack. Keep that in mind as I collect 4 of them. I had to resort to my old friend counting once again, meticulously pausing after every single attack to make sure I got down to that capture sweet spot. I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I'm already kind of over Beastmaster. Catch and release is so ungodly tedious, and we've just started. I'm all smiles, baby. I'm finally stacked up with 4 bears, each with 2 fists. I return to the basement of the ancient library, again. Book-based Byblos, I've got your number. Your petty physical attacks are no match for my bears. Let's see what you got. Oh my god, 2200 damage? Yeah, 2 bears and Byblos is instantly killed. Alright, maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe it's worth the tedium of catching monsters. Mid's here and I've still got 2 bears left, so he immediately listens to me and heads back to Karnak. In a post-Byblos world, I unlock the control ability, which I will now test out. You know what? Aqua Breath yourself until you can get captured. Easy game, easy life. I'm gonna hold on to this Storm Chimera for later. Sid, you better stop your drinking problems and fix up my fire ship, or I will be forced to unleash the bears. Just having 2 bears ready to maul really makes people do whatever you want. The man with the bears makes the rules. The ship's fixed up, and I'm off to Crescent. Or am I? No, I'm off to the Jackhole Cave first. I'm navigating the series of impossible and elaborate puzzles to find the Blitz Whip in the chest. This is a much stronger whip that's lightning elemental and occasionally casts Bolt. I'll take anything I can get at this point though, because this is the best whip that I can get in Bartz's world. Woof. Notable is I can use Beastmaster's control ability to get Skull Eaters to eat their own heads. So that's a fun little way to farm ability points in here, but not that I'm gonna need it. Beastmaster has significantly cooler ways to grind, which I will explore in the future. Since I'm here though, I may as well stock up on Jackhole's armor and pick up some Mage Mashers, which are unfortunately my best weapon for the foreseeable future. Okay, now I'm heading to Crescent, but joke's on you, I'm tricking you again. Instead, I'm heading down to the southern islands where the prototypes live. Prototypes are extremely strong enemies. They have ridiculous evasion and defenses, but Beastmaster can use control and have them self-destruct on themselves for easy and free farming. Prototypes do not drop gil, but the EXP and ability points are simply off the chain. Hey, how much gil could Beastmasters possibly need? They're not ninjas. A few prototype kills later and I'm finally off to Crescent. No jokes this time. It's happening. In the Chocobo Forest, I'm performing the Heimlich maneuver on the Black Chocobo and I'm flying back to sit in mid. You saw King Tycoon in the desert? Well, that's my favorite place to be. I'm the Bear Whisperer after all. Shy Halud tries to swallow me whole, but if you've been paying attention to the lore, you'll know that the blue magic Aqua Breath is a free win. I play Dorm Chimera in attack mode. The Dorm Chimera's Aqua Breath was not a free kill, but it got him low enough that I can bust out the whips. You know what I'm doing to that sandworm. Easy victory for the Beastmasters achieved. I'm through the desert in the hunt for more prey, but the hunter has become the hunted as King Tycoon clowns on me and drops me into the catapult and directly onto an airship. Finders keepers. Sid and Mid are conveniently here too. How fortuitous. Flying into the sky on my new airship and oh my god, a giant crab. But I've got a solution to that and it involves one bear. Back to Ronka and I'm further mogged by King Tycoon because his airship is both larger and can fly higher than mine. I'll show him. Nobody mogs me. Once again, the Brainlord's think tank have come up with the solution. It's the adamantite. I have to return to the first meteor, but I need to restock on bears. My empire of destruction is built entirely off of the backs of these bears. Capturing really never gets easier, does it? I still have to meticulously keep track of all of the damage I dealt to get a capture. And doing this, sometimes you mess up, and sometimes you go for a very long time without even seeing a bear. But picking up 4 bears is inevitable. I've returned to the Tycoon meteor, and the adamantite is mine. Is that just a turtle? Sounds like no problem versus the crushing might of the sand bear. 2 bears later and I'm heading back to the catapult. Sid and Mid have upgraded my airship. You and I both know that some level of grinding in these challenges is inevitable. I spent some time blowing up prototypes, but then I realized I am actually gonna need some money. I returned to Black Flame Island and whipped them all to death, over and over again. As prepared as ever, I ascended to take out the Ronka ruins. Those side launchers are proving to be surprisingly tough. They can tank at least 1 bear attack. This is also where I learned that release targeting is randomized. I can't control which cannon my bears will hit. Well, that means it's a minimum of 2 bears per battle with a few melee attacks, and there's at least 4 battles. I'm just gonna go ahead and park my airship next to the desert. I fly down, I catch the bears. I fly up, I use the bears. Wash, rinse, and repeat 4 times. Okay, you know what? I'm officially back to being annoyed with Beastmaster. Seriously, there's about a dozen less tedious ways to take out these side launchers. But they are taken out, and the soul cannon emerges. There's 3 targets on the soul cannon, the side launchers, and the main cannon itself. With 3 targets, surely this is a battle for the mighty Zeus Breathwing, right? Let's just go ahead and catch 4 Zeus outside of Karnak for a free kill on the soul cannon. Sounds pretty good to me. Soul cannon, I've got your number. Feel the full might of 4 released Breathwings. Miss? 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 It missed! Okay, so it's immune to wind damage just like Byblos. Amazing. Resorting to melee attacks. My dagger-based damage isn't awful on the front cannon, but the side launchers count as being in the back row, so this isn't gonna go well. My entire party was ulded and then atomized by the wave beam. I have to rethink my strategy. Or do I? Nope, because the only real answers I have are more levels and more bears. I grinded more black flames and got 4 more sand bears, and then I went to the soul cannon for revenge. After purchasing 4 angel rings from Istory to prevent the old status. I started this fight by manually taking out the side launchers. I slugged it with the Blitz Whip, which had a lucky bolt proc, before finishing it off with the Mage Mashers. The next side launcher died exactly the same way. Now that there's only 1 target left, the bears are forced to hit the soul cannon. Lisa Nal-Gaib sends his regards. Hang on, what? 4 bears weren't enough? Are you serious? That's the wave cannon coming in hot. All I could do was eat it. I have no good healing items, so I guess I'm just hitting auto battle and praying. Thankfully it was enough. The soul cannon was defeated, finally. I am once again out of bears. I'm returning to the desert to collect 4 more. Now I can finally get this show on the road in the Ronka ruins. Is there anything useful or interesting in there for me as a Beastmaster? Nah. Straight to the top or bottom, whatever. I'm heading to the final level where King Tycoon tricks me again. I'll get the last laugh, you dingus. Archeo Avis rears its ugly head yet again. The question is, will this be an insurmountable wall or a joke of an encounter? Only my sandbears know the answer. I started out with basic attacks just to see what happens, but yikes, that defense is through the roof. Instantly resorting to bear smashing it is. That's the first form down. Looks like it's a lot like Ninja. 1 bear equals 1 form. Sandbear 2 and Sandbear 3 continue the trend. For the 4th form, I meleeed it to death using my whips. I saved exactly 1 bear because just like that, Archeo Avis is back up again. And he's mad, so he instantly hit me with Maelstrom. Okay, I'm on borrowed time, it's me or him. Get him, Final Bear! I'm officially rebranding Beastmaster to Bearmaster. Arcuavis is dead, and King Tycoon will trick me no longer. Krile sure got him with that prank. Hang on, he's not moving. Exdeath breaks the crystal, and Galoof is very mad and leaves the planet without me. The Bartz's World Meteor Tour begins for the 15th time. But I've used up my monster-based munitions, and I need to destroy the bomb squad at the same time, so bears aren't gonna cut it. Back to Karnak for zoos. Surely Breathwing won't let me down. I'm feeling like Megatron at this point, constantly yelling at Starscream every time I try to release a zoo. Wait, hang on. I lost Galoof, so I can't actually 4 times Breathwing anyways. Alright, zoos are out. I'll instead try Dorm Chimeras. Here come the bomb squad, and yeah. 3 times Aqua Breath didn't do enough to kill them. Alright, quick thinking, think on the fly. Surely you got something in the toolbox that's gonna work. Control? Oh, of course control works. I can control a bomb and get it to self-destruct on itself, negating the Arise counter. Now I just have to stay alive, which is a lot easier said than done. A few Phoenix Downs later, and I've gaslit the bomb squad into infighting and destroying themselves from the inside. But it won't be so easy for the next bosses. I feel the desert's call once again for even more sandbears, which means even more counting and capturing nonsense. 3 more sandbears domesticated. I'm off to the Karnak Meteor. Titan gets smashed with the first bear. He manages to survive, but Bartz follows up with a main gauche slice to seal the deal. Time for the last meteor at Gone. The Chimera brain rears its ugly heads once again. Sounds like a job for a bear with 2 fists. Bear released into cut. Oh my god, it's not dead yet. Okay, 2 more cuts and it's dead. 1 bear saved for later. Meteor convergence is achieved. But I'm not jumping into that hole just yet. I need to restock on sandbears because once I leave Bartz's world, who knows when and where I'll be able to capture something so powerful. The final sandbears are collected. I've got the Goldilocks style 3 bears for the next boss on the chopping block. I'm jumping into the hole and leaving Bartz's world, never to return. Getting thrown in jail is inevitable. Thank God King Galoof's here to bust me out. Spoiler alert? Galoof is a Beastmaster with no beast. There's gotta be something around here I can use to obliterate Gilgamesh. Shell bears? Well, it's a bear. It's got 2 fists. Let's do this. Turns out shell bears have like 0 health, so I really gotta dial it in with this pathetic basic knife. Really glad I held on to it. Shell bear captured. Gilgamesh is about to get bear smashed. 1700 damage, so that's about 500 less than a sand bear, but it's enough to scare Gilgamesh off. I mean, bro, if someone was just throwing bears at me, I'd be gone too. Escaping Exdeath's castle was part 1 of the plan. Escaping the big bridge is part 2. My mage mashers are doing pretty good, but listen, I need new weapons. Oh, look, it's Gilgamesh. You thought that shell bear was bad? Taste some sand bears. 2 sand bears thrown out and he's in phase 2. Throwing out my final sand bear and he's still not dead. Really should have caught Galoof another shell bear. But after a few rounds of physical attacks, he's leaving. Again. Rest in peace, sand bears, the foundations of my empire. After a few battles on the big bridge, I'm barrier blasted to Regol. First things first though, I need new gear and consumables. I'm buying new chain whips. Gotta whip while the whipping's good. Surprisingly, the whips have higher base damage than the Orichalcum Dirks, and I've got back row okay back, baby. Then I'm stocking up on all kinds of armor and consumables. The only thing I'm missing, and I mean the only thing, is animal friends. There's gotta be something around here. The sealed castle of Kuza? At this point in the game, shield dragons will kick your ass. But they can be controlled by a Beastmaster. As you see, it's a bit of a struggle to get one controlled. But once it's controlled, you just have to mind your own business and make it blast itself with blaze. I smacked this shield dragon 1 time with a whip, so this was a kill, for a very respectable amount of EXP and gil. Kuza is definitely one of the only good grinding locations in Galoof's world, and I mean like the only one. But I'm not here to grind, I'm here to force animals to be my friends. Once controlled, 1 blaze, 2 blaze, 3 blaze, 4. Now it's capturable. Shield Dragon successfully snagged. A short time later, I've got 4 Shield Dragons stockpiled. That was surprisingly easy. Why did I spend all this time capturing Shield Dragons? Shield Dragons release Almagust. You know, that spell Neo Exdeath is always using on me and ruining my life? Yeah, that's mine now. But as usual, this was a lot of work, so I'm banking them for a boss fight. Monsieur Mugel is here, and he's decided to throw his life away to snag the wet rocks. And I'm not gonna let that happen. I have to whip every single one of these crabs to death to reach the end. Found that Moogle, and I guess he's French this time for some reason. Oh no, Tyrannosaur's after the wet rocks he's gathered. Hang on. Tyrannosaur's undead. Face the extreme might of Almagust, fool! 700 damage. That's like slightly better than a regular whip attack. Farming those shield dragons sure was a waste of time. Phoenix down reigns supreme. Let me check the list. What was the next thing I was going to domesticate? Oh, Lesser Lopros, which is right here in this cave. Okay, you know what? I'll just head out, save, and come back. Wait, where'd the door go? Oh, come on. That was my entire plan for World 2. Quick, check the Moogle Forest. Okay, I can still jump down the hole. Thank God. Plan's not ruined yet. Back on task, I get my Moogle rescuing rewards, including the dastardly dancing dagger and another elf cape. Through the power of the French Moogle psychic link, Kral's shown up with the Windrake to fly me back to Ball. We arrive safely. Then the Windrake has gone from perfectly fine to on death's door the second it landed. Looked fine to me, but okay. I'll go pick up the dragon grass from Drakenvale. I'll do everything myself. Northbound once again to Kooky Kelb. But first, I'm gonna smack around this guy, the Aquathorn. When captured, Aquathorn releases instant death, and I feel like that could be a free win for the Dragon Pod. Aquathorn successfully captured. I still got my shield dragon, so one's all I'm gonna get. Inside Kelb, wait, where'd the door go? The werewolf men are looking at me like a meal. It's gotta be the sheep outfit. But they don't know that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. Kelgar, you're gonna get the business. God, I love the Dawn Warriors with their cool backstory and their completely laissez-faire approach to leaving evil warlocks behind to be someone else's problem. I.e. me. Beastmasters have peaked with the chain whips in Gloof's world, sadly, but I can still strength max with all of the insane gear and Kooky Kelb. My armor's upgraded and I'm heading straight into Drakenvale. I'm just gonna whip everything I come across to death, bro. I'm heading through and grabbing the bone mail as usual, and then wait a second, some secret chests! One contains a samurai container that I will never care about ever again, but this chest contains the Hypno Crown. When equipped, the Hypno Crown improves the success rate of control. Normally, you just hawk this for an absurd amount of gil, but lucky me, I have to hang on to it. At the summit, the dragon grass is spotted, but it was all a trick. Getting real tired of getting tricked. Alright, here we go. Aquathorn, show me what you got. The instant death missed, and it didn't even target the right guy anyways, just great. Release a shield dragon, I guess. Pathetic damage, but it's enough to clear out the dragon flowers. I am now out of domesticated animals, so I'm just doing this the old-fashioned way. 800 damage a whip attack is not terrible, to be honest. Beastmasters truly are gonna whip all resistance into submission. Every time the dragon flowers come back, I'm making sure to slug them, but the fight's over before you know it. Easy peasy. I've returned from Drakenvale with the dragon grass. I am truly a hero of all time. I gotta save the Windrake, time is of the essence. Oh yeah, sure, Kral, let's have a little bit of a conversation. Hey, hang on. Is that Zoc? He came through the portal too? And now he's just gone. What the heck is going on? Am I going crazy? Lena takes her rightfully earned share of the dragon grass to destroy her last remaining brain cells with poison. And after a meal, the Windrake has been instantly rehabilitated. Instantly. I'm sure he was just hangry. Under normal circumstances, I'd head straight to Guido and Zeza, but not this time. I'm gonna put the Windrake through his paces. I'm flying all the way to Exdat's castle, and I'm looking for a very specific enemy. These guys, the Strapper-Rapperers. For you see, when caught, Strapper-Rapperers use the mighty Deathclaw blue magic, which puts enemies into critical HP and paralyzes them. This is super useful right now because I gotta do myself a little side quest. That's right, Final Fantasy V actually has an optional side quest in Gloof's world. After finally acquiring a Strapper-Rapper, which took forever, I'm flying the Windrake all the way back to Kelb. All this works so I can capture a Cornago. Normally, these frogs are awfully annoying to capture. Cornagos have a tendency to run when they're alone, or if they're put into critical HP, or they just feel like it. But I have the power of the Hypno Toad, crown. Now that I've isolated the Cornago and it's under my complete control with the Hypno Crown, I can nail it with the Strapper-Rapper's Deathclaw. It has single-digit HP, and single-digit HP is often less than 12.5%. Now I can instantly capture it. With this Cornago safely tucked away, I return to Kelb and talk to the weirdo hiding out in the well. He wants to eat the Cornago, but also wants 10,000 gil? Bro, you asked me for this. Fine. I have to do this quest for my own sanity. Cornago Gourd acquired. This is a unique accessory for Beastmasters. It raises the HP threshold to capture monsters from 12.5% to 50%. That means for the rest of the game, it is way easier to capture monsters, and I couldn't be more happy. Quest complete, and I'm putting the Windrake back through the paces. I'm flying northeast to reach the Moogle Forest again. I'm dropping down and doing another underwater cave diving excursion. Also, I can find the wet rocks, domesticate a semi-rare enemy. I'm looking for the Lesser Lopros. When released, it's Breathwing, just like Zeus. Surely in Gloof's world it will be good, right? Right? The other thing I must find out is whether or not I can swap the Cornago Gourd between my characters. I'm using it on the first guy and easily capturing the lesser low pros, and then I'm swapping it down the list. Oh, thank God it works. Looks like I won't be needing Omniscient's rare steal of the second Cornago Gourd after all. One is all I'm ever gonna need. Honestly, it would have been kind of nice if the Cornago Gourd was just like a key item and a permanent buff, but I'm gonna take what I can get. Cycling an accessory is small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. I'm loaded up with 4 lesser low pros, aka enough firepower to kill anything that moves. Now to get the show on the road. Heading to Sage Guido's cave, who promptly sinks it, but I'm cool with that because I'm flying over to hang out with my boy Zayza of the Dawn Warriors. Oh no, Gilgamesh is attacking the ship. Who could have predicted this? Whip smack? Shut your big yap. Enkidu shows up to spoil my fun, but I have a secret technique. The power of the Hypnotoad. Turns out, Enkidu is controllable. He also has the Hurricane ability and promptly sets himself to single-digit HP. Get whipped, idiot! That just leaves Gilgamesh to get whipped into shape. I don't know if I could have just used the Breathwing Blaster Barrage on Gilgamesh, since I really have no idea if you can actually leave Zayza's fleet after this, since I've never tried it before. The Windrake's hanging out over there and I can't reach him, but if I leave and come back in, yeah, okay, I can just get back on it, which I will do right now. That means I could have just obliterated Gilgamesh with Breathwing releases, but that would require capturing more lesser Lopros than necessary. Don't tell anyone, but technically these animals are illegal, so I'm using Zayza's homemade submarine to smuggle them inside the barrier tower. I heard a couple of creaks along the way, but we made it. In the barrier tower, wall rings sound pretty good as usual, but I really don't want to grind for them. I whipped my way to the top of the tower, and fine, I'll grind for at least one of them. Maybe now is a good time to nostalgia bomb the first time I ever grinded reflect rings by watching Netflix's Cooking on High, easily one of the worst cooking shows I've ever had the displeasure of watching. Oh what? They got rid of it? It's gone. I guess it's just lost media now. You know what? Nothing of value was lost. It's like piss in the rain. Reflect ring acquired while I was yapping. One is all I need. At the top of the barrier tower, oh no, it's interdimensional Maw Atmos. I'm just praying that 4 times Breathwing works. I don't want another Soul Cannon situation, man. Okay, Bart's died, so I guess it's just 3 times Breathwing. But it's working! It's working! 5,000 damage is really not too bad to cut through with just whips, especially when I'm juiced up with all that werewolf strength gear. Atmos is finito. I'm throwing myself off the barrier tower directly into the homemade submarine. Zayza's sub is pretty cool, but I'm getting back on the Windrake because I need to domesticate more wildlife. I'm flying back to Kelb once again. The Aquathorns and their instant death worked so well before on the Dragon Pod. Surely they're the solution I need for the upcoming crystals. Surely they won't let me down again. I collected 4 Aquathorns and returned to the submarine. Sage Guido's cave always sucks, so I'm in and out as fast as possible. Guardian Branch acquired. Then I surfaced in more, and I got some new gear. Psst, I'm on the list. But I throw down that Guardian Branch and the tree bouncers let me in. It's not about who you are, it's about who you know. Inside the forest, the Morningstar would be pretty cool, but it's not a whip, so I can't use it. What isn't cool is setting the forest on fire, X-Daff. I've waited out the flames, and now I enter the first tree ever to exist. The Guardian Tree's got a bunch of, as a boss fight. Little do they know, I have a secret weapon. Aquathorn, use instant death. Okay, Aquathorn 2, try again. Don't let me down, number 3. You're up 4, I'm sure you can do it. Okay, that was a colossal waste of time. Should've just put my faith in the Starappa Rappers and their Deathclaw instead. Or 4 times Breathwing would have been pretty good, I'm sure. My only hope is back row weapon. Back row OK really makes this fight a lot easier. The chain whips, despite being pretty low attack power, are doing a consistent 500 plus damage, so I'm not complaining. When you're fighting the Haunts this way, eating magic spells is inevitable. I just can't kill them fast enough. But all I need to do is get them to half health and then burst the crystals down and resort to spamming high potions to get everyone back up to full after the inevitable magic. Now I'm just repeating it for the fire crystal, spamming high potions after the inevitable fire agas. That one's always the worst, especially when it takes out my entire party. Galoof ends up being the last man standing, but high potions heal more HP than I'm getting hit for with only 2 crystals left. Getting my party up took forever, but that's proving to be a trend with Beastmaster. Time to whip that Earth Crystal into submission. Earthshaker is scary, but it's not nearly as scary as Fire Aga. The Earth Crystal's down, and another round of high potions across the board, then I'm taking out the last crystal. Kryl sensed I was in danger. She rushed over here so fast she didn't even change out of her pajamas. Galoof continues his trend of last man standing as he slaps X-Death around, completely ignoring the rules of the game. But the Game Master didn't like that, so Galoof has died and he's staying dead. Kryl is now forced into my party. You want to change? Oh, that's just your Beastmaster outfit. Okay. I'm heading straight to Xstats Castle now, just kidding. I need a new stock of domesticated animals. I flew all the way back to the Moogle Forest again and did yet another cave diving excursion for 4 lesser low pros. Making sure to swap my Cornago gourd every time, you know, for my own sanity. 4 times Breathwing should actually be an automatic kill on Xdeath, unless Square has tricked me once again and made him absorb wind damage. I've arrived at Xdeath's castle. I'm sure he was looking at his watch wondering where I was. Kelgar sacrifices himself for some reason, but it opens up the way. How or why this works I don't know, but god, I love the Dawn Warriors. Beastmaster is yet again another job where nothing in Xdeath's castle really matters. No fun treasures, and there's not even a whip. They just forgot to put one in. It's actually pretty surprising that the chain whip I picked up all the way back in Regol is still doing really well. Maybe they didn't need more than 6 whips after all. I've crushed my way to the save point, and now it's time to crush Gilgamesh. I could easily dispatch him with the Breathwing Barrage, but I don't want to deal with the tedium of leaving Xdeath's castle and catching another set of 4 lesser low pros. No. I will instead deal with the tedium of whipping Gilgamesh over and over and over again while he does nothing but spam status effects. Seriously, every negative status effect in the game is going off in this fight, but my victory is inevitable. Gilgamesh has reached his final form, but he's a quick little flush away from Xdeath. Bye-bye. Now I'm taking out the trash that is Xdeath. 1, 2, 3, 4, Xdeath has no idea what's in store. At 8,192 damage a pop, Xdeath's 32,000 HP is completely busted by Breathwings. 4 times Breathwing is probably the single easiest way to beat Xdeath in the game. I've returned to Tycoon Castle in my world. A viewing of a babe in animal print is in order. Hey, sheepskin is still technically animal print, right? I'm heading back to the cave to find Boko. It takes very little convincing for him to abandon his new wife, and I'm abruptly tossed down a hole to fight the antlion. I don't have any animal ammunition left. I blew my load on Xdeath. The only choice I have is just to whip the antlion to death. I've got whips, high potions, and a dream. As long as I don't get nailed with discords too much, I should be okay. Okay, 2 immediately on Bards, that's pretty fun. Now Cryo got hit, but here's how the Beastmasters can still win. Through relentless whipping, the antlion eventually goes down, and I'm reunited with Ferris. Then together, the 3 of us seek the wisdom of the turtle and fight Xdeath again, but I don't have any banked Breathwings, so I lose. Sage Guido's trying to tell me about the 12 legendary weapons. Bro, you and I both know I can only use that whip and the assassin's dagger, so let's just get this over with. I have crossed back into the desert once again. My beloved sand bears are nowhere to be found. I must have hunted them to extinction. Oh my god, how am I gonna beat the Gargoyle Guardians in the pyramid now? Do I have to use math and counting once again? While I ponder this predicament, I will wander the desert. Boulettes. That's a tough looking fella right there. Let's go ahead and control it. Body Slam on itself leads to an instant capture thanks to the Cornago gourd. Always nice to find a fast and free solution to capturing. I guess I'm loading up on 3 Boulettes. I also went ahead and re-entered more to snatch up the chicken knife. I would prefer not to use it, but I will in a pinch. You'll love to see that it's only got 18 attack power since I barely ran from any battles. It's time to rip the band-aid off in the pyramid. Boulettes will either win me entry into the pyramid, or I'm gonna have to count. Oh, okay, 4,800 damage? Friendship ended with bears. Boulette's our new best friend. 1 Boulette into 1 surprisingly strong whip attack, and that's 1 gargoyle down. Now another Boulette into another whip attack, and I'm in. Why is the whip suddenly so strong? But before I tackle the pyramid, I'm restocking on Boulettes. Now I'm heading inside and trashing everything with the newfound power of the whip. Looks like the mummies aren't nearly as afraid of them. Urge to use my Boulettes rising, but I held back, the whips were good enough, and I reached the top of the pyramid. Because I picked up the tablet, my airship is freed somehow. You know, and I also may have unleashed a dragon that's gonna destroy the world, but that's neither here nor there. What is here is entering the forest once again for the inevitable World Slurpin, Wyvern Exorcism, and Melusine battle. Whips are doing God's work over here, hitting for 0 damage. I have no alternative damage output, and I'm not about to waste my banked Boulettes just yet. All Beastmasters can do is weather the storm of spells by spamming high potions and waiting until she's barrier weak to physicals. It's been a minute since I had to do this fight the intended way. After like the 6th swap, she's finally susceptible to the... Alright, okay, whips are still doing a lot of damage on their own, but I'm gonna release the barrage of Boulettes. 3 Boulettes later and she's surprisingly not dead, but a follow-up of quick whip swings and she's finished. Lena's back in the party, and I get to watch the longest and my absolutely favorite series of cutscenes in the game. Once that's all done, I can finally explore the merged world with my airship. Of course, I'm off to the secret Phantom Village. Since I've farmed so many animals to extinction, I can actually afford 4 times Hermes sandals and outfit my entire party in black costumes and black cowls. For my next trick, I'll steal the thief knife from behind the pub and then free the black chocobo. I've done everything I need to do in Phantom in one trip. That's surprising. Back in my airship, I'm heading straight to Kuza now to drop off my tablet and finally get some new weapons. Yeah, just like I predicted. The Flame Lash is up first. This is a way stronger whip that occasionally blasts out of Fire 3. Beastmasters are kinda stupid, but Fire 3 is powerful regardless of scaling. Then of course, the Assassin's Dagger is coming in hot, and I'll just grab the Excalibur since it's nearby. Excess Matt, got some new weapons, so the Monsters of the Void are released. Before I tackle the remaining optional content, I'm gonna try and fight Stingrays south of the Phoenix Tower. Stingrays have a chance to drop the Dragonbeard Whip, the strongest whip in the game. This is a rare counter on top of a rare drop, so welcome to my personal hell. I finally got into a battle with a Stingray. The easiest way to take it out is to abuse control. I can force the Stingray to use Big Guard on my team and then whip it to death very, very slowly. The occasional Fire 3 helps a lot from the Flame Lash, but this is brutal. There's gotta be a better way. Whipping really is for chumps. I should have been releasing monsters this whole time. I returned to the lake and no longer Crescent Island. You may remember these rooks from Samurai only. Rooks are the fun new way to get Breathwing in the merged world. I caught 4 using the power of the Cornago Gourd, and then I returned to under the Phoenix Tower to fish for Stingrays. I love it when a plan comes together. 4 times released Rooks with Breathwing is an easy kill, but once again, Beastmaster is proving to be a massive amount of legwork. To grind for chances at Dragonbeards easily, I have to capture 4 Rooks, and then I have to find an encounter with a rare Stingray. I had enough patience to do this setup a few times, but there's not a Dragonbeard in sight. I think it's time to pack it in and move on. But not before loading up on another 4 Rooks before I entered the Island Shrine. In an effort to stop spending so much time capturing monsters, I opted to smash the gargoyles with my whips. It actually went pretty okay. The gargoyles just take a ton of damage from getting smacked around with whips for some reason. I don't know if this has ever happened, but there's actually something noteworthy in the island trying to pick up. This chest has the Beast Killer Whip. This is like 20 damage higher than the Chain Whip and does double damage to magic beast enemies. Probably a pretty niche application, but 20 damage is 20 damage. Now just head to the bottom of the island shrine and face off against the Wendigo. The Wendigo is completely free. His most threatening attack is Mind Blast, which is largely negated by the Hermes Sandals. I'm not even going to bother blasting Breathwing for this one. I'm going to go ahead and do the tried and true method of the shell game. That's Tablet 2 acquired, which makes the Fork Tower's barrier go away. So let's skedaddle over there now. I have exactly 1 Reflect Ring from the barrier tower, and that's all I'm ever gonna need. Lena's going out the magic side solo with my Reflect Ring in a dream. Everyone else is up the physical side. The gang reaches the top of the White Tower, and Minotaur makes an appearance. Minotaur's on borrowed time. This is a 3v1. Everyone's hitting for over 1,000 damage a swing, so this shouldn't be much of a problem at all. Kryl was in the front row with the Assassin's Dagger, and she got dusted by Minotaur, but Bartz and Ferris finished him off. I let Auto Battle handle this whole thing. Lena's up now, and she's willing to stand there for as long as it takes to run Omniscient out of MP. I talked about this earlier, but worth noting is that Omniscient does have a rare steal of a Cornago Gourd, but since you can just swap it between your party without consequences, there's not really a reason to get more than 1. And disgustingly, if you really wanted to get this Cornago Gourd, you'd need to run Omniscient out of MP, and then try to get a rare steal with the Thief Knife. If you didn't get the rare steal, you'd have to reset and repeat that 16-hour MP drain. Sounds like true hell to me. Anyways, 16 hours later, Lena gave Omniscient the beatdown, and I've destroyed the Fork Tower, which opens up the catapult. I never thought I'd see the think tank again. My airship is now submarine capable after I whipped those 2 into shape. I headed to Istri to snag the magic lamp on Boko, and then I got a crazy idea. I opted to try my luck at farming a Dragonbeard again from Stingrays. You'll never guess the outcome. Must have gotten hit in the head too many times by Minotaur. Will my dream of new whips die? There's gotta be a better way. Down to the undersea trench. The gargoyles are destroyed by the power of the whips once again. Inside the trench, I'm headed to this big room, and I'm looking for unknowns. No, not those ones. Not those ones either. The ones that I want are the ones that look like an alien ball sack. But no, not those ones either. For whatever reason, Square made 2 identical sprites for these enemies that are radically different. The only way to tell that you've run into the right ones is with control. The ones that I'm looking for have no abilities, just basic attack. Now it's time for the fun part. I have to attack with the Thief Knife, hope for a Mug proc, and then hope for a steal. But it has to be the rare steal. Nothing's ever gonna be easy, is it? Attacking with the Thief Knife will inevitably kill the unknowns. But thankfully, they respawn constantly. I'm locking down the ones I'm not actively stealing from with control, and then having a dedicated high potion chucker as Lena attempts to fruitlessly steal a Beast Killer Whip. I want to get at least 2 more of these Beast Killers, by the way. I hunkered down and I sat down here for a disgusting amount of time to steal 2. I got so bored and distracted that I actually stole 3 by accident. And since I picked up the one in the island shrine, that means I have 4. That was horrific, but it's over. My party is wholly kitted out with new whips. I've delved too deep down here. I'm just taking the easy way out. 1 oink equals 1 use of the magic lamp. Would 4 times Breathwing from Rooks have worked? Yeah, probably. But that would require capturing another 4 Rooks, and ain't nobody got time for that. Tablet snagged, lamp recharged on the way out, and I'm out of here. I headed back to Phantom Village to buy some coral rings. After that insane grind and selling a slew of treasures, I've got 4, which solves both Twintania and Leviathan. Leviathan, huh? Let's go ahead and tackle History Falls now. 1 more set of gargoyles, and my new whips are getting a workout. The gargoyles are completely dusted by the power of the beast killers. History has lots of treasures that I can't use, so I'm heading straight to the bottom. I guess I'll snag the Protect Ring and another Reflect Ring, why not? The 4th tablet. Red guy tries to jump scare me, but Leviathan takes him out. Fully equipped with coral rings, Leviathan doesn't stand a chance. I'm gonna whip him to death. The Entangle is annoying without the speed-based immunities the Hermes Sandals offer, but you can't beat the power of absorbing tidal waves. The coral rings make Leviathan an inevitable victory. Just took a little longer than anticipated with all the paralysis. Let's finish out the submarine-based tasks. I went to the Waltz Tower, conveniently near the Stingray spot, and ran my booty cheeks all the way to the bottom. I held my breath, and I waited for Gogo to banish himself to the Shadow Realm. Good old Mime. Looking forward to playing basically the whole game jobless for that one. I'm heading back south to get the Black Chocobo to take me to the Northern Desert. I went all the way up the Phoenix Tower, and then I went all the way back down the Phoenix Tower. For my next trick, I climbed the North Mountain and absolutely roasted Bahamut with Breathwing. Bahamut got 1 turn and there's Mega Flare, but I've got Reflect Rings on. Easy game, easy life. That Mega Flare saved me 1 Breathwing too, and that's 1 less Rook that I have to catch. Odin's next, I suppose? First things first, I gotta restock on Rooks just in case. Now to head back through the Jackal Cave and see if whipping it good is enough, or if I do need to release the Breathwing Barrage. Nope, turns out whips are pretty decent weapons after all. I've won. That's all for the optional content. All that's left is to head to the Interdimensional Rift and finish this out. I made some final preparations, which included trying to fight yet more Stingrays. I was desperate to get at least 1 Dragonbeard, but it's really just not happening. But the real reason I did this was to control Stingray to cast Mighty Gar on my party. The reasons will be revealed soon enough. After that final tussle with Stingray, I got my items restocked and I entered the Rift at level 47. This is a direct result of just slaughtering everything indiscriminately as I farmed for monsters to throw at bosses, and rare steals. All of the treasures of the Rift are meaningless to me. I worked through the desert, factory, and forest without issue. I have a master plan and it's time to see it through. You're probably thinking I'm just gonna 4 times Breathwing blast every boss down here with Rooks, and then walk out of the Rift and restock and come back. That was my initial plan too, and it would probably work. Fortunately, there's a little nuance to these early Rift bosses. Starting with the big blue woman Califasteri. She's a magic beast type enemy, for some reason. That sounds like a job for 4-time beast killer whips to me, boss. 2400 damage a swing is pretty disgusting. Califasteri, you can counter drain me all you like, you're on borrowed time. Hey, if push comes to shove, I've got high potions out the wazoo and a banked Breathwing. But Califasteri barely put a dent in my health. She's completely dusted. Through the caves, I've still got to keep my float on, so no resting for me, just saving and moving into the library. Wouldn't you know it, a panda is also a magic beast type enemy. But as a book, he's also insanely weak to fire. For this fight I gave Bartz the Flame Lash because I knew the inevitable protect counter would ruin my physical damage output. And fire 3 procs are still very solid. Beastmaster and their whips absolutely crushed it. Through the sky and into the castle for Azul Magia. Azul Magia is not a magic beast type enemy, so I've got 4 stock Rooks and a dream. I'm smashing them all and beating Azul Magia for free. 1 more save point unlocked and I'm using it. No resting yet though. I've got a Reflect Ring on Bartz and I'm straight into fighting Catastrophe. I've carried Float along with me just for this one boss fight. Catastrophe's main attack is Earthshaker, and if he can't do it, he'll try to pull you down with Gravity 100s. But since I have a Reflect Ring on, it fails. Now Catastrophe is trapped in an endless loop of trying to pull people down, but can't. The Beast Killers once again destroy another Rift boss, completely free. Now I don't need Float anymore, so I can finally rest. But how will I tackle the remaining Rift bosses? Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked. Conveniently, outside of the castle are Dragon Avis enemies. These, when captured, also release Breathwing. Let's just go ahead and capture another 4 of those real quick. I went back into the castle's dungeons, collected my kiss, and then proceeded to lay the smackdown on Halicarnassus. Could I have Breathwing bombed her? Sure, but she's a pushover. I opted to just whip her to death again, after a round of maiden kisses, of course. Reverse polarity really isn't a problem when you're back row okay, and the killing power of the Beast Killer destroyed her before she did much more than that. Listen man, I spent so much time grinding these whips, I gotta get as much value out of them as I can. Post Halicarnassus, we come to a problem with Twintania. Twintania has 50,000 HP. Breathwing doing 25% of his health would be 12,500, but Final Fantasy V has a damage cap in place of 9,999. Even if I unload 4 Breathwings, he's still gonna survive with 10,000 HP. But you know, Twintania is also a Magic Beast type enemy. Throughout the game there are very little Magic Beast enemies, but then you get to the Rift and it's like, oops, all Magic Beast. So while I could beat Twintania with 4 times Breathwing, I'm gonna use the Beast Killers once again. Beast Killers are smacking him around for 2,500 damage a hit, and it made short work of him. Right up until he started charging Giga Flare, it's never been more over. For him. That's right, even unhasted because I was forced to wear coral rings for the tidal wave counters, Beastmasters whipped Twintania to death before the Giga Flare came out. You love to see it, and that's one less set of animals that I have to domesticate. The crystal dimension means I'm on the cusp of victory. Gilgamesh, get the heck out of here! Nothing to see here, folks. I'm just heading down to X. Wait, what's that light? What's that light over there? Oh, Strict! My favorite boss, the Necrophobe. I'm high enough level that I can eat the holies and flares that are coming out of the barriers and survive. Which means that I'm just going to be paying a very harsh tax on my items, but victory should be assured. I'm starting this fight with like 60 high potions. Unfortunately, barriers are not Magic Beast type enemies, so I'm down to about 700-ish damage on my whips. That means it's going to take a long time to destroy all 4 barriers. I did take out the first barrier with whips, but this is really a struggle to keep everyone alive, even being in my mid-40s. All I can do is have a couple of dedicated high potion chuckers as I whittle down the barriers slowly. That's the second barrier down. What are the odds that this takes so long that they run out of MP? The item tax was very high and I'm paying it in full. Barrier 3 is down. But before I could kill it, barrier 4 ran out of MP. I took the liberty of using my remaining potions to heal myself before taking it out. Now for Necrophobe himself. 4 times Breathwing should be a fun time here. At 9,999 damage a pop, this is a lot like Twintania. 4 times Breathwing is just short of the full 44,044 HP that Necrophobe has. A few whip cracks is all I need to make up the difference. Gilgamesh is in, and after some expository banter, he blows himself up, letting me embrace my inner Mothman and touch the light. I have 24 high potions left. I really don't think that's going to be enough for both forms of X-Death. I always hate doing this, but I feel like I gotta leave the Rift. Outside in the real world, I restocked on items and got 4 more Rooks for Neo X-Death. Now I come to the horrific realization as I saunter back through the Rift. I have to cut through 2 forms of X-Death. I can either blow my Breathwing load on Phase 1 and deal with Phase 2 with strictly melee attacks. Alternatively, I whip the tree form to death and unload my Breathwings on Phase 2. I guess I could technically do a half and half, but I'm going for the all-in approach. Neo X-Death is way more threatening, so I guess that's my plan. Even though he has over 50,000 HP, and I won't be able to completely dust him with 4 times Breathwings because of the damage cap. This is gonna suck, isn't it? At least the Dawn Warriors are here, providing nothing but moral support from the sidelines. Oh yeah, it's Lena's dad! Almost forgot about him. The gang's level 47. I've got the Flame Lash on Bart's, and everyone else has Beast Killers. When a problem comes along, you must whip it. The damage on these whips is actually pretty solid, and sitting in the back row is nice for those physicals. What isn't nice is getting nailed with back-to-back white holes. And then as soon as you heal them up, you get hit with another white hole. And another, seriously? I have not had this many white holes thrown at me in a long time. Oh well, you know what they say, when something's going wrong, you must whip it. Finally, X-Death does anything else, but it's Holy, which explodes Lena from the inside. Now he's back to white holing. Double white hole. Oh my god, man, please just stop. You gotta cool it. I'll take a Doom any day of the week at this point. It's really a good thing I restocked on items because I'm burning through Phoenix Downs and Soft like they're going out of style. X-Death is seriously abusing his magic powers. He must know that I take half damage from physicals in the back row because my god, dude, just chill out. I'm forced to resort to spamming elixirs just to stay alive. But I caught a break. X-Death finally gave me some breathing room and I unloaded whip cracks all over him. Gotta love those Fire 3 procs coming in hot. I couldn't dodge the white holes, but I've managed to dodge the meteor spam. Neo X-Death vibrates in. Show me what you got, round 2. An instant 3 rips on the lamp for Bahamut, Leviathan, and then Odin to ice the girl in the back. No more spells for you, X-Death. Now to get everyone back up and stabilized. The Breathwing damage cap is a real problem, so I need to slice off a lot of health in melee before going in for the kill. Whip damage is back to being unremarkable on the big beefy dude in the front. But look at that. The demon face that spams Almagust is a magic beast type enemy. My luck's turning around. And it looks like someone's getting whipped to death. Okay, I didn't like that. Here's Almagust number 1. Everyone managed to survive this time, just barely. That's just being pretty high level at play, folks. Elixirs across the board, and I'm down to 15 left. When you take half damage from vacuum waves, they just aren't that scary. But even so, I'm gonna continue working through the lamp to get to Earthwall. I got Earthwall up just in time to get nailed with a truly terrible Grand Cross. Death, Old Silence, and Petrify. Oh well, boys, fix yourselves up and let's get back to it. Damage on the back row is about 500 damage a round. Just like Ninja, this is gonna be rough in a long fight, but at least I've got those back pocket Breathwings. Lena's old, so her physical attacks are gonna be useless. I'm getting her Breathwing out right now, and then she's gonna be a dedicated high potion chucker. Ferris and Kryle with their Beast Killers are doing their darndest to work down the Almagust part, and Bartz is trying to smash the top two with the Flame Lash. Another Almagust came out. The item taxes are real. This is the point where I dropped Breathwing number 2. At which point, another Grand Cross came out. Frog and Death Sentence. Okay, I can deal with that. X-Death is vibrating. I've got to be close to victory, right? I got nothing to lose. Give him the double Breathwing. Not enough damage to kill all the forms, but I managed to kill 2 of them, which is the worst case scenario. I can't believe I beefed it. My party managed to get a couple of attacks off before the inevitable meteor showed up. Kryle's the lone survivor. No pressure, but you gotta go all in and kill this guy right now. One whipping wasn't enough. It's over, bros. But Haste gave her a second attack, and she pulled it off. That's Final Fantasy V completed using exclusively Beastmasters. Final Fantasy V using exclusively Beastmasters was completed at level 47 in an incredibly tedious 14 hours, 29 minutes, and 37 seconds. Oh, right. With the totally legit 16-hour Omniscient tax, this is 30 hours and 30 minutes. I started off this challenge having a very middling opinion of Beastmaster that really didn't improve much at all. Beastmaster's fine. It would be nice if there were more whips, but that's just a classic Final Fantasy V problem at this point. Neglected weapon types are a problem across the board. The main problem with Beastmaster is just how tedious the core mechanic is. Catching monsters to release them later is really just obnoxious. Firstly, you gotta know what every monster does. This basically requires a guide at the ready, because there's no chance in heck you're gonna sit there, catch everything, and then release them just to see what it does. Ain't nobody got time for that. So after you've scrutinized the guide, you've dialed in on what monsters are good and which ones you want to pick up. Then you need to figure out how to get it to 12.5% of its max health to capture. Which again, either requires using a guide or the monster stat block from the bestiary, or you can use the White Magic Libra or Blue Mage's check. So now that you have the magic number, you need to actually get it down to that HP block. And that usually involves you keeping some absolutely terrible weapons around just to nick off tiny chunks of HP to get into capture range. Once you do capture something, there is no chance you're going to waste it on anything other than a boss, so you're left with just physically attacking. A lot of the Beastmaster releases are insanely powerful without a doubt, but it's such a huge time investment that it just feels awful to play. There's no doubt there's some easier ways to capture, like Deathclaw from a Blue Mage or Gravity spells from Time Mage, but in a single job challenge, all you have is melee attacks. Getting the Cornago Gourd helps a lot, but it's gained from a pretty obtuse side quest. Even once you have the Cornago Gourd, you still need to go through the effort of finding and catching everything that you want. Then you have to cycle the gourd throughout your party. Unfortunately, because the catch and release mechanic is a one and doneer, it makes a lot of the support and debuffing releases completely useless. You could get something like Big Guard, which is an insanely powerful buff, or you could just unload a massive attack that wins you the fight. It's kind of a no-brainer. The nuances of the catch and release mechanics just lead to a pretty dull and monotonous playthrough. There are some interesting control shenanigans that you can do. Self-destructing prototypes in Bartz's world and shield dragons blazing themselves to death in Kuz is all pretty cool. Control even works on some boss encounters. Making Perlabo self-destruct and forcing Enkidu to set himself to 1 HP with hurricanes all pretty neat. But now that I've completed Beastmaster, I still don't foresee myself using it very much in the future. Yeah, bear smashing and breath winging was fun, but it's really just not worth the tedium of capturing everything for a blowout victory. There's just a lot simpler solutions to anything that could be a problem area. I appreciate the flavor of having more jobs, but I'm just not sold on Beastmaster. The idea is cool, execution, not so much. As a result, it's kinda not surprising that Beastmaster was kinda benched in the later games. When even was the next time that they showed up? Oh, it was Final Fantasy XI! Beastmaster was one of the only jobs that could level solo, relatively safely, which is actually pretty cool and novel in that game. spending hours screaming for a party in Juneau, just to finally get a party together and kill 3 monsters before it disbanded, was a beautiful experience. And Beastmaster could largely ignore it. Thanks for watching. Next time I'll be the sleepiest guy in town. We'll see how the lowly geomancer in his pajamas handles the game on Backlog Buster Challenger.